Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jump and today I'll be doing my top 5 favourite announcements from the latest Nintendo Direct. Now, it's been a week since Nintendo has released the latest Direct, and in my opinion, I think the Direct was a good one. I think it's what we needed after having so many mini Directs. I think for this having this general Direct was a good thing, and I think it's something that we wanted. And also they made a lot of announcements for a lot of upcoming games, some new titles, some ports, and yeah, I'm going over some of my favourite announcements that they made in the game. Well, not in the game, in the Direct. So for number 5, it's Famicom Detective Club. Now, what I like about this announcement is that I quite like detective type of media, whether it's movies, TV shows, books, games, whatever. I do quite like it because it has a sort of it basically has a whole mystery to it, and who done it, and how you're trying to find all these clues, and trying to find out who was who's the culprit, that sort of thing. And yeah, I feel like Famicom Detective Club is going to be an interesting game, and also it has 2 separate versions, or 2 separate games, or they might be in the same universe maybe, and that would be an interesting game to play, and also maybe to review when I get to play either one of them or both of them. And yeah, I feel like the both games look interesting to play, and feels like something I could possibly play and get to know about the whole universe and stuff like that. For number 4 is Outer Wilds. Now, Outer Wilds seems like an interesting game to play, again like Famicom Detective Club, because from what I've seen in the Direct, this game is basically you are in this sort of universe thing, and it basically resets after every 22 minutes. So for 22 minutes you are basically in this universe, searching through planets, going across the galaxy that you're in, and then once 22 minutes are over, the world resets itself and the whole galaxy just reforms, and then the whole cycle goes and resets itself. And I feel like there's an interesting premise for a game. It's definitely got that Majora's Mask element to it, in which you go back 3 days before the moon falls in Majora's Mask, and in Outer Wilds that has that obvious Majora's Mask feel to it, because you can just go back and just explore new planets, find parts of the planets you might not have seen in your first playthrough, or like your first time playing the game, that sort of thing. And I feel like Outer Wilds, it has a sort of like, again, like for the 5th slot for Famicom Detective Club, it's got that mystery to it, and you wanted to explore more. For number 3 is Splatoon 3. Now, this was an interesting announcement for me, because I've only played the second game in the Splatoon series, and it's an interesting game. I feel like I feel like it copies a bit from the first game, but when I saw that they were going to make a Splatoon 3, and I saw what they were going with in that direction, I feel like that's an interesting way, because in the trailer that we saw for Splatoon 3, it's basically in this barren sort of wasteland. It's kind of like a Borderlands, or not Far Cry, the one with the little I'll just keep with Far Cry. I don't know, but it's got like sort of like Borderlands type element to it, and it's like you see all the inhabitants just in these sort of like run down areas, and you just playing again like in Splatoon 2 and 1. It's basically the same thing, but it's sort of more barren and more sort of interesting, and hopefully we can get a new story, like a single player story, where we have to like try and expand our territory or something maybe, and try and help rebuild Inkopolis or Squidopolis back to its original glory. For number 2 is the announcement for Pyra / Mithras and reveal for Smash Brothers. Now, I haven't really played Xenoblade 2 yet. It looks interesting. I might try and play it, like sometime in the future. I'm not too sure when. But Xenoblade 2 does look like an interesting game to play, and I feel like, from what I've seen, it looks like an interesting sort of sequel, from what I've seen. And for this announcement for Pyra and Mithra, I think it's an interesting idea, but again, this is another anime swordsman type of thing, where we have like so many people in Smash Bros. That have a sword, like Link, Young Link, Toon Link, basically all of the Fire Emblem guys, they have swords, and I feel like, okay, it's an interesting idea, but I feel like we could have had like a different sort of style in terms of like where we could have gone with this, because like we've got 2 more characters left for Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Pyra and Mithra, they're interesting. I might, when I do get a Pyra and Mithra for Smash Bros. And when they're released, they might be interesting. But I feel like, again, it's like another swords person. It's like it's nice, I guess, but it would be nice to have some other characters from other games that don't just use a sword and maybe some magic. Yeah, so far, like, in terms of the whole Smash Bros. DLC Pack 2, I feel like Pyra and Mithra are a good addition. I just hope that this is the last of the whole anime swords person trope thing. So yeah, and for number 1 is Skyward Sword getting an HD remake for the Switch. Now, I feel like this is like the single best announcement from the Direct, mainly because The Legend of Zelda is one of my favourite video game series of all time, and Skyward Sword is my all-time favourite Zelda game, and hearing its announcement for the Switch was one of the greatest announcements of all time. And also, shout out to Screen Rant for saying that Mario Galaxy is proof that Skyrosword wouldn't work well on the Switch. So, for context, this is where Screen Rant released a post back in September of last year. This is when the Mario 3D All Stars had just been released, and on Twitter they said that they released an article saying that Mario Galaxy is proof Skyward Sword won't work well on the Switch, and I quote tweeted them, and for some people who don't know, I have a Twitter. I'll probably link that in the description below. But I replied to them saying, shouldn't Galaxy be a prime example of how Skyward Sword could work on the Switch? I mean, the motion controls work well in both Galaxy and Skyward Sword for the Wii, and Nintendo were able to make the Joy-Cons work with Galaxy, so it should be easy. And then when Skyward Sword HD was announced for the Switch, I just quote tweeted my quote tweet from Screen Rant and Screen Rant said that Skyward Sword could never work on the Switch. So this is, for me, for Skyward Sword being on the Switch, one of the best announcements in like that I've ever seen. I feel like I'm satisfied that's like from this Direct, because of when Skyward Sword HD was announced. I was literally happy. I was happy that one of my favourite Zelda games, and also one of my favourite video games of all time, was coming to the Switch. I was completely satisfied from this Direct, and I feel like that Skyward Sword HD is going to be, really cool. And also, from what I've seen in the trailer, Nintendo have obviously polished up the graphics a lot since putting it to the Switch. And because if you look from the two differences from the Wii version and the Switch version, you can quite see that there's a major difference in terms of graphics in both versions. So yeah, and also I want to quickly talk about the Breath of the Wild sequel announcement. I kind of see where Nintendo were going with this, because they didn't want to. They wanted some more time in trying to develop the game and try and develop the sequel as best as they can, so that they can please our expectations and see. And we can also see where this game goes down since the events of Breath of the Wild. So yeah, so I kind of see where the Aonuma kind of was going with the announcement for Breath of the Wild 2. So yeah, so that's been my top 5 favorite announcements from the latest Nintendo Direct. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.